guys, and welcome back. So, we're going to continue with Brian's story. We kind of went through childhood to adult up until present day, but we're going to go back and touch on things that we think may have started the panic disorder. We do want to say a few things before we start, though. Keep in mind, this is his story. We're not giving any medical advice. We're not saying what you should and shouldn't do. This is just what he's gone through, how he's handled it, and what he's done through the years. This may not be suitable for children. If you do want to watch it with your child, that would be your choice. You may find things a little offensive. There is a lot of adult content, different things that he's done, and stuff like that over the years. If you're easily offended, you might not want to watch this.
Get to the door.
If you do like what we're talking about and you have any questions, feel free to comment and please hit the subscribe button. All right, ready to start tonight's episode?
This microphone, whatever. Stop screwing around.
So our last episode, we said that we would go back and talk about some of the stuff that you think may have started the panic disorder. Contributed to it, I guess we could say.
I don't know about the panic disorder, but it definitely...
The anxiousness, the...
lack of patience, that kind of stuff.
So, going back, how far back can you remember that the lack of patience, if something didn't go your way, you were like, "Arr!" Like,
Probably teenage years, early teens.
okay.
It wasn't when I was that little, or even like preteen, or I would say mid to late teens.
Okay. We talked a little bit about your dad. How much of a role do you think he played in it?
I mean, once my mom kicked him out, I don't know if we talked about this before or not. His days were Sundays.
Yeah, we went through that, and like how he was consistent and then he stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of just sitting on the, front step or looking out the window waiting for him to show up. 9, 10, 11 years old. A lot of that, and, just wasted time waiting for him and calling for him to show up, stuff like that. Where I could have been out,
Did you ever ask your mom why he didn't come? That you can remember?
No. I mean, found out later it was just, he was drunk or sleeping off a week-long,
Bender.
drug and alcohol party.
So, I know now from experience with you, if we say something's going to happen, better hope it happens, because you have no patience for things to, or if somebody says they're going to do something and they don't do it, it really can like set you off.
Yeah, it's definitely don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it. Like, don't, hey, how about we do this, and then build it up and then go, that'll piss me off.
Are you understanding if it's out of their control?
Yeah, I mean, if it's just somebody talking and then they're not going to,
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying somebody says...
No, I'm saying if they're if you plan it and then they're sick or something happens
Okay.
or whatever, then obviously. But when somebody says something and they just, we're going to do this, do that, do that, and then they just decide that they don't feel like doing it, or it's bullshit, then yeah, that's going to piss me off. A lot of it's also if I know something too far ahead of it in advance that's going to happen, or that we plan something, I'm going to obsess about it the whole time. I'm way better off finding out like 5 minutes before.
That I get, but that's not always feasible either.
No, but I'm just being honest. Like,
Right, but
if like for me to plan a vacation in 6 months, I won't.
no,
Like
no.
people who plan like Disney a year in advance, that would just be 1 year of torture for me. Constantly worrying about what's going to screw it up.
But
It's not going to get here fast enough. Something's going to screw it up if it doesn't get here quick enough. So it's like, hurry up.
so how were you able to get through with the wedding?
We didn't have a whole lot of time to plan. I mean, that was literally,
we started technically months like
not that far. I mean, the divorce started the first week of August is when I filed.
and that's when we started talking about
Yeah, it was like, started throwing around ideas, but it really wasn't until October that we started, like,
Right.
we did the engagement photos and, but yeah, I mean, it was less than 2 months, and it wasn't like,
you better watch your words here carefully.
what do you think I was going to say? It wasn't a big deal? Yeah. No. It wasn't like traveling.
You had to go real far for it.
Yeah, it was a good 5 minutes from there. If that. So I had to be there at 3:30. I left my house at 3:28. And I was still early.
So
Yeah, that was, again, there wasn't enough time, and there was so many things going on, and I was still having to deal with her making sure that shit was getting done, and then we had to phone in a couple of
yeah,
favors to make sure that the divorce papers got signed by someone and
got put on the
approved.
top of the pile.
And then it was, we were out trying to find, me clothes that matched your dress, and then we knew it was going to be 35 degrees, so we had to find you the cape and the muffler. I'm pretty sure it's called a muffler, isn't
Except I didn't have one of them. I wore gloves. I wore
it? Oh,
mittens.
the mittens.
Were you there? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
you had big white furry thing on your hand. And your sister-in-law, who married us, was busy working on your bouquet and
Which shout out to her. She did a great job.
the boutonniere, and
Not only did she make the bouquet, but she also did the ceremony. She made it so personal. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was great.
But I mean,
That one, I think, because we were both so hands-on. I mean, we were either in a clothing store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's,
just looking for different things.
somewhere, making sure, we had all this stuff or whatever that, and plus there was Halloween, then starting to decorate for Christmas, and then Thanksgiving, and still decorating for Christmas, So
Right.
there was a lot of stuff going on within those couple of months. I mean, that was kind of a blur.
Right. No, I'll give you that.
I honestly don't even remember that Christmas. afterwards. Like, I think,
Wow.
no, it was just, the wedding definitely overshadowed Christmas.
Right.
So I don't,
A side note, he sleeps with one of the gifts I got him almost every night, but he doesn't remember that Christmas. Oh, he's like on the verge of getting smacked. A nice warm blanket. Well, he still, look at his face. He still doesn't know what I'm talking about. It has the word husband on it.
it's 95 fucking degrees out.
He's,
It is not on my bed
well, it was last time I was there.
in the winter.
That wasn't the last time I was at your house. I was there like last weekend.
It was not on my bed then.
I thought it was on the foot of the bed.
It's on the floor next to the bed, I think.
What do you mean you think? You don't know where it's at? That's horrible. So
It's in my room. Let's put it that way.
certain things, I mean, we've done things where we've been like, yeah, I guess we're a little different though, because if you don't stop yawning,
Yeah. I'm going on very little sleep.
we'll go and do, like the night before, we'll be like, yeah, you want to go do XYZ tomorrow morning? And then that's what we'll do. So yeah, we're not real big planners. Because when we do plan stuff, it never happens.
And half the time, we don't even do that. It's just, I'm still up from the night before, and then you wake up, and I'm like, hey, this is going on, and then
Right.
we go do it. And then that rolls into other things like, the hell's today?
Today would be Sunday. You're talking about yesterday? Yesterday was Saturday when we did all of our running.
Yeah, when that was kind of, we were going and then kind of weren't, and then ended up going out to the Harley dealership and the farmer's market, stopped
Right.
at the tattoo shop, not to get tattoos, Guitar Center,
Right.
and none of that was really planned.
No. And you're right. When something does have to get planned, you get a little nervous and anxious and
Yeah, I'm just better off winging it.
so. And you think that's because of the stuff with your dad?
I mean, there was times where, I don't know if we talked about this or not, but we had gone to Busch Gardens, or he planned a
Yeah, you did, but how you
trip
were
with
sick.
my brother, and I was sick for weeks. I was sick all the way down there, like laying in the back of the car, just like dying. And then we got there, and 20 minutes later, I was fine. So I don't know.
Oh, all right. So let's talk about your dad.
Oh boy.
If you had to describe him, how would you describe your dad?
Without using expletives?
Yep.
Uneducated, distant, cold, anger issues, violent, alcoholic, drugs.
All right. So let's go back. You said uneducated. Was that his fault?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was his choice to drop out of school at 8th grade. I don't think his parents pulled him out.
Correct. But you also said that he was dyslexic.
I think he would have been, with cards that were sent later on.
Right.
And when you open a card, they were like, what 5-year-old scribbled that misspelled my name
Okay.
or my daughter's. My mom is the one who said that he really couldn't read or write.
Yeah.
Like later on in life, she said that's why he had been given like been given an auto body shop.
Okay.
Like, here's the building, here's the business. I don't want it anymore. You have it.
Okay.
Well, anybody else that's in that field, if you're a mechanic or you're a doctor and the hospital says, here, it's yours, you, you're going to take it and run. He used it as like a front for some of his cronies that he was associated with at the time, and it didn't last very long. Probably because he couldn't do billing, paperwork, taxes,
Okay.
any of that stuff.
So then it comes down to, was him being uneducated his fault? Back then, they wouldn't have tested for that. It was like, you're slow, you're stupid, go on, move on. I'm not defending the man. I'm just saying.
I'm not. No, I don't.
The other stuff, yes, anger issues, that's on him. Violent, that's on him. Alcohol, drugs, they're all on him.
Being a general piece of crap.
That would be on him.
He wanted to party. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to be tied down. He didn't want to deal with kids. He wanted to drink. He wanted to do drugs. He wanted to hang out with women, and he didn't want all those responsibilities.
Okay. So they split. He's doing his thing. He's living wherever he's living.
Split is not quite the way.
Oh.
He was given an ultimatum.
And he chose to leave. So, he's now living on his own, doing his own thing. So when you spent time with him,
I think he sponged off of a couple of women for a little while before he ended up in another, like his own apartment by himself. And even that was through a friend, and I think he was, well, I know he was dealing, and because he wasn't working. He didn't work.
so the times you did spend with him when he was at his own place, when he was on his own,
Wasn't that, it was a handful of times.
could you say that there were like real bonding experiences or no?
No, he was asleep most of the time. I was watching like VHS tapes of Conan and Barbarian or whatever happened to be big in the mid 80s.
So, understanding that you're a child, I'm assuming you didn't enjoy it.
No, as soon as the movie was over, I mean, the movies were great, action movies, whatever. As soon as they were over, I would just like wake them up and go, I'm gonna go home. So if I was there for like may stop and have gotten a sandwich or stop and got something to eat somewhere, fast food, whatever crap happened to be open at that time. And then he had a friend, the guy that he was renting the apartment from owned a VHS store out in Chester County. So there was a couple times he would go out there and pick up like 20 VHS tapes. And then he would, go back out, take them, and probably pay the rent, come back, whatever. So there was always movies there. But that was it. And half the time, like I said, he would just eat and then fall asleep because had spent all week either dealing or doing drugs and drinking. And I guess Sundays was his Sabbath, so he needed to, on the seventh day, he rested.
So you had said that at 16, your mom put your brother out. When your brother was 16?
17.
17, okay. Were you still going to your dad's at that time?
Yeah.
So your brother was 17, that would have made you 12.
Mm-hmm.
So you were still seeing your father at that time?
Sporadically.
So when you went over, did you do stuff with your dad or your brother?
My brother wasn't always there. He was a lot of times he was. At the time, I believe he got a job working overnight at a gas station. One of those. They don't. I don't think they have them anymore. But you would sit in a booth,
Mm-hmm.
and back then you had to pay with cash, and you would go up to the window. They would, take the money, pump 12, whatever. I mean, I guess technically they have them. You can walk into a Wawa or whatever, but
Yeah, they still have
it's not.
them.
It's not a booth right outside next to
Right.
the pumps. So he was doing that, and he had a girlfriend, like steady girlfriend at that point. So I honestly don't remember him being there all that often.
Okay.
If he was in the room. His room was the kitchen of that place because it was tiny. So they literally, I guess, took maybe a little kitchen table out and he put a bed there. He was like, I guess you just leaned over and opened a refrigerator and got breakfast.
Yeah.
Didn't have to move. I don't know.
The convenience. So at what age did you stop seeing your dad altogether?
I think it was about 14, somewhere 14 or 15. No, it was before high school, so it had to be 14, like eighth grade.
So it just stopped, or did something happen?
Well, like I said before, in the beginning it was every Sunday for, 6 or 8 months, whatever it was. And then it was every other Sunday, and then once a month, and then every couple of months, and then every 6 months, and then every now and then. And then it was like a card on Christmas and birthday.
That was my next question. Was going to be how was your birthday and holidays?
I, I, I honestly, I don't remember. Like, I remember having the toys and stuff like that, but I literally don't remember my birthdays at all.
No, I meant when you were older, like when he wasn't around anymore. Did he take you somewhere for your birthday or anything?
Nah, not that I remember. I don't remember seeing him at Christmas either. But that was, again, you're talking over from 9 until 14, so 5 years. So it was like gradually just kept getting to that point. And even I probably at 13 and 14, I was doing other things and started not to care. So it was,
So it was okay.
I wouldn't say it was okay, but I wasn't sitting at home as much waiting to see if he was going to come over. So if I was there, and I wasn't calling and like chasing him at that point, I guess.
Okay. So then at 14, 13, 14, you stopped seeing them.
Yeah, it was. I think it was by like eighth grade. So I was 14 because I know it was definitely before I went to high school
So
that I remember.
when your brother got married, was he at the wedding?
No, he was in jail.
Okay.
I think. It's going to be another one, right? He definitely wasn't there.
Do you remember what year he went to jail?
He was in there by the time my oldest was born in 90. He was already in county.
So that means it would have happened in 89.
I think awaiting sentencing.
Yeah, they can only hold you. Well, they can hold you at county up to 23 months.
Yeah. So I would have to go back and think when that incident happened. Now, my niece passed in 89, and he was not around at that point. So I have to think he might have already had been in in county at that point.
But didn't your brother have a relationship with him?
Yeah.
And he still wasn't around when your niece passed.
What's that?
And he still wasn't around when your niece passed.
Not that I remember.
So
I'm pretty sure he was in. I'm pretty sure he was in county at that point, because I remember me, my brother, and my mom. My mom had us, or well, had him over for dinner. She was talking to my brother, or they were talking again. Like my brother had realized that he was a moron at the time, and they were talking again. So I don't know. He came over, and the only reason I remember this is because it turned into an argument. He was in county. Actually, he might have been in. Maybe he'd already been in. Maybe he was already up at Camp Hill in prison at this time. Maybe it was before '89 that he was already up at out in Camp Hill serving his 10 years.
Okay.
Because, yeah, it had to be because my brother wanted to, and for me to chip in to get him like a watch and a TV and cable, and I told him to like get bent. I'm like, he's the one that fucking did it. Why would I make life comfier for him? I don't have cable. I'm not getting him cable. I'm like, if I'm saving up for a watch, it's for me. I'm like, fuck him. Not my problem.
So your brother had a relationship with him when he was in jail still then? Or prison?
Oh yeah, he was putting money on his books and stuff like that. And like, he was like, "What's your father?" I'm like, "No, it's your father." I'm like,
Did you go visit him at all when he was in jail?
when Christine, yeah, you know what? He had to be in county then. I don't, my memory of when these conversations happen, I don't know. That he was in county when Christine was born, so I was in '90. So that conversation had to happen after that. I probably was living. I probably was already. No, couldn't have been that far ahead. No, it was definitely in like '90 or the beginning of '91. Because I took Christine to go see him, like so he could see her.
Why?
I don't know. Honestly, don't. I remember going, and
Yeah, I mean, it's not
with them, they have to dig through everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, even with the child, they check the diaper, they check everything.
If I'd have known they were going to do that, I wouldn't even have went because it was like an hour of them going through like a baby carrier because I know she was still in a carrier.
Yeah,
So they had to go through that. They have to go through the diaper bag. They have to go. You can't take this in. Leave this over here. We'll lock this away. Blah blah. It was
How was he when he saw her?
Don't remember.
Okay.
I really don't remember the visit or any. I just know that we were there. I don't remember actually. I remember him coming out and sitting down because I think he was bald. I don't know if he shaved his head or something. He looked really weird. I don't know. Well, he always looked weird, but because one eye went one way and one went the other, and then you shaved his head, and he's 5'6.5", and
Where did you get your height from?
my grandfather was 6 foot.
Oh.
My grandfather's brother was tall. My mom's dad was over 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and my cousins were like the oddballs because one of them's like 6'6".
I guess that's the one I know's brother.
Yeah. Yeah, the younger brother, he's like 6'6" or something like that. I think Rob's. Is he tall as me?
He's taller than you.
He's taller than me.
Yeah, he's taller than you.
He's probably like 6'3". My brother was like 5'11", I was 6'2".
So,
But if anybody is wondering why he was in jail, he had gotten, this wasn't his first stint, first of all. He had been in county a few times, ran from the police on a motorcycle and got in a fight with them. Had wrecked a few bars in his day. And then I think he had a couple of DUIs. I know he had at least one. Well, then later on he got another one or two. But some argument with the guy that lived downstairs that he was friends with probably involved drugs and alcohol, and they got into a fight, and my dad pulled a gun on him and shot him 5 times. Guy lived, but he went to jail for 10 years for attempted murder and other weapons charges and stuff.
so you went to see him once when he was in jail. He gets out of jail. Who reaches out to who?
Well, I was closer with my brother at that point. Him and his then wife had adopted children. I had both of mine, so we would go over there for, birthday parties or barbecues or whatever. And then I guess when he was about to get out, which, I didn't have any contact that entire time. So any information I got was secondhand from my brother.
Your brother stayed in contact with him in jail. You said put money on his books. Went to
From what,
visit him.
yeah, from what I remember, he was putting money on his books, and he ended up moving in with my brother for, I think he said about a week or two. I thought it was longer, but the last time I talked to my brother, for other reasons I will get into, he had said he was only there for like a week or whatever, and then he went to live with his mother in a trailer park.
It was a trailer park, but it was a senior living community.
It was a nice trailer park.
Well, no, it's a little different. It's not.
No, it was a trailer park.
Yeah, but it was.
It wasn't a, Florida trailer park, but it's a trailer park.
Yeah, but it was all seniors that lived there.
Yeah. It was supposed to be over 65 or
Yeah, I don't know what the rules
something
are.
like that. No offense to the trailer parks in Florida, but you know what I mean. If you watch Cops.
So then he moves in with his mom.
Well, when he was there, I had came over and brought the girls. Because Alyssa had never, that's my youngest, she had never met him up to that point. Obviously, she wasn't born before he went. And, I mean, my oldest didn't meet him either. She was a infant, so she didn't know. So I was like, I don't know. I probably got somebody telling me that it would have been a good idea. Which, it wasn't a good or a bad idea. Nothing, I think I went over there once, and then he moved out to the trailer park, and that was it for a while again.
He didn't attempt to stay in the girls' lives.
No, not until the girls were in sports. My mom had to contact him about something because I actually want to say this could have been around 2007 when she was going to retire. Could have been that long. I'm trying to think how old. 14. Yeah, it could have been around there. because they were still legally married. They never got divorced. Never spoke to each other, and she didn't have crap to do with them. But
I thought he showed up at the house once.
he did.
Yes, I remember you telling me that. He showed up at the house once. Um, your mom wasn't there. And he had to get paperwork signed or something.
I wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, you were there, you said.
Not in 2007.
No. I don't know when this happened. I remember you saying that he showed up. Maybe it was when he found out that he had the medical issue. I don't know.
I was living in Collingdale when he found that out.
I remember you
Oh,
saying.
he may have went there and dropped off the stuff that my mom gave me that I had to take to my doctor.
Maybe that was it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, somehow I got a thing, paperwork that had hemochromatosis, the blood disorder that he got diagnosed with. But I think that was a lot. It couldn't have been that much later. Yeah, might have been around that time.
Okay.
But I think it was around 2000. Yeah, it was probably around 2006, 2007 that he, because he was out in 2010. No, 2000. So yeah, somewhere between 2005 and 2007. Might have been with that reason, and found out the girls were playing sports or something through my mom. And she asked if,
At this point, you were no longer talking to your brother, correct?
yeah, I had stopped. Me and him, our relationship was over in, let's see, 2000.
Okay.
Somewhere right around there, maybe 2001 or 2. No, I don't know. Things are fuzzy. Because it depends on when my dad went to jail and then if he got out.
I can find out when he went to jail if you really want me to.
No, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'll, my oldest started in 99, and I was not talking to him then.
So,
But anyway, so he reached out to my mom to see if about that, and then I guess she had told him, or he may have asked what was going on or how things were or whatever, and I guess she told him, something about them playing sports. So he asked if you could have my number, and she's like, well, I'll have to call him and see if that's okay. And then I was like, whatever. And he called and asked if he could come to some of their games.
now the important question: were there any games where they were both at the same time, your mom and your dad?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was fine because it wasn't, there wasn't like animosity or hostility, or it was just she sat over there and he would stand over somewhere else. Like he didn't go near her and
Okay.
she didn't go near him.
Well, yeah, I would figure she wouldn't go near him, but yeah.
But it wouldn't have been. My mom's also the type that even if she can't stand somebody, she'll smile and have a conversation with them because there's kids around or other
Right.
people. She's not going to start. She's not going to be like me and start a problem, or the way I used to be. Say he came to a few games. We talked a couple times. What about? I again don't know. I think he might have came over the house once. Actually, twice, because the last time I remember, I think it was '97, because my truck had been in an accident. We got rear-ended, and it had a lot of custom parts on it. And he, at the time, knew somebody that they went to this auction. They would, they would go like trash picking or whatever, and then go to the auction and sell the stuff. And he was telling me about it, and I said, "Well, there's a bunch of parts over there from the truck." And I said, "The truck's getting totaled. I'm taking the aftermarket parts off. If you want to auction the stuff off and split it 50-50, then." He's like, "All right," and I never heard from him again. Literally, the last time I talked to him was in 2009. I called him when we were having a lot of problems, and I was like, "Since you know, owe me like at least $300 or $400, why don't you give me $100?" And he just hung up. So that was literally the last time until 2012 when I went to his house to like kind of, I got talked into by my ex-wife and my mom to like, "Why don't you go see if you can talk to him?" And for some reason I had to extend the olive branch, and that didn't go well at all. A lot of people got screamed at after that one, including my mom.
So the last time you laid eyes on him was 2012.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how it came up. It was at my house. Ex-wife was with me, and I don't know how I don't know if somebody had reached out and told my mom that he wasn't doing real well. Like, she gives a shit because she didn't. And then maybe she thought he was going to kick the bucket, so why don't you go and...
That was a long time from 2012 to when he died.
4 years.
And
yeah, but he should have been dead in his freaking 20s.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so he could have went at any moment, but I didn't give a crap. And we'll get to that real quick. So I drive out there. By then, my grandmother had passed, and he was the only one living there. And I don't know anything about the situation between him and my brother. I have no idea what's going on. So I just knocked on the door. He opens it up. I'll just go word for word. "Well, what the fuck do you want?" And I was like, I'm just stopping by to see what's up. And he goes, "What'd you do? Get kicked out of the house again? You need somewhere to stay?" And I'm like, I said, "I've never gotten kicked out of a house. I don't need anywhere to stay." "Oh, yeah, your mother kicked you out of the house again." Now, if you remember, if anybody's watching this, my mom kicked my brother out, and he went and lived with my father.
right.
He thought I was him. So I'm like, "I think you're thinking of my brother." I know who I'm talking to. And I went, "I'm Brian, your other son." "I don't have another son. Get the fuck off the property before I shoot you." And I'm like, "Okay."
So why did that make you so mad? Like that you yelled at your ex-wife and your mom?
Because I knew exactly how it was going to go. You're dealing with a drug addict alcoholic. Do you think you're going to get a rational...
Then why did you go?
I don't know. Because I don't listen to myself.
So then why yell at them?
Because they're the ones that brought it up. You can take this circle and keep
But you're the one who made.
and keep looping it around.
No, but you're the one who made
you're
the
gonna get
choice
the
to
same
go.
answer. Yeah, I understand that. But I would have never even entered my mind if
Okay.
they hadn't have planted the seed, and I kind of went, fine.
Okay.
Fine, I'll be the bigger person and extend the olive branch
Okay. So.
for something that I didn't do, which that doesn't happen anymore.
So. Did it bother you when he said, "I don't have another son"?
Yes, of course.
That's more or less
Because
why.
he didn't even remember. Now, later on, my cousin and my aunt was like, he thought you were David, my older brother. And I went, oh, I'm well aware of that, but he didn't know he had another son. I'm like, he doesn't even remember me. And they talked to him since, and he,
That was my next question. When your cousin and your aunt would go to the facility that he went to, did he even remember that you were there, that you were alive, that you were
what facility?
when he went to
Nobody ever went to see him in there.
They had to.
Hell, they got him set up in there, and that was it.
Oh, I thought your aunt continued to go.
I don't think so. He wasn't there that long.
So
He died shortly after.
so when your cousin saw him, was at the house. He was still at the house.
It's a trailer.
Yeah. And you never came up. So at what point did you go to your grandmother's trailer to get stuff? After he was in the facility?
After he died.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. We were together when he died.
Thank you.
You had already had the stuff.
No, I didn't.
Okay. They would have had to sell the trailer to put him in there.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
When I went, it was warm weather. So there's no way. How could that have been?
I don't know when he went in.
Okay, he died in December of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in there 2 months. So even if he went in October,
It had to be.
it was warm weather.
I have no idea because when we went to go look at the trailer, and he was still. This was before he passed away, because we were talking about where he was. We drove down by there, and then you were like, "Oh, I could show you where," and you couldn't even remember how to get to the trailer. That's how I knew it wasn't. It had to be before we were together. You were like, "I think it's the street." I think, but that's.
That was later on. That I was trying to remember how to get there.
No, he was still alive because you were telling me where he was, and we drove out there just to drive. Like, and remember we went through that back street.
No.
And it was ironic because shortly after that is when he had passed.
Well, I know it was in December. In 2016, I don't know what day or anything.
Yeah,
else.
that I can't tell you, but
Well, whenever all that crap happened.
so
Again, my memory sucks, so if that's what she says, we'll go with that. But I thought it was after he died that. I'm pretty sure it was after he died that we went to the trailer.
who went with you?
Just me. Rob was there, his mom and his dad, my aunt and uncle.
Nah, it had to be before because
Half the stuff was already gone. Which, rightfully so, they were the one. I didn't really want anything. Like, I literally walked out with most of my grandmother's, like, stuff that was from my grandmother's photo albums and stuff like that.
right.
His stuff, maybe 4 or 5 things, and I have one of them. The other, most of it I threw out. I think I have one knife. Like a little pen knife or something. But I'm pretty sure he was already dead. I'd have to ask my cousin or my aunt.
Yeah, you'd have to, because I know it wasn't.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was just so.
As long as he's dead. Because, and that was the funny part. And get offended all you want. When my aunt called me and said, I just want to let you know your father passed, and I went, okay. And they want to know if somebody can claim the body. I went, it won't be me. How about your mom? I went, yeah, good luck with that. And the next thing I knew, because my mom was still legally married, she was next of kin, I guess.
Yes.
So the funeral home came there and was like, you don't want to accept that? She's like, nope. And obviously I was living there, and I came downstairs to get something to eat, and she was like, oh, this is my son. She's like, oh, do you want to accept the body? I went, whose? And they were like, your father? And I just went. The lady looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, no. You know, got breakfast and went back upstairs. I was like, yeah, good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for you. And they literally took his ashes, and they had to wait for like 6 months until they had enough people's ashes to get on a boat, and then you have to go out into international waters off the coast of Jersey and then dump him in the ocean. So I was like,
Yeah, I think they do it twice a year.
yeah, I was like, so he's at the bottom of the Atlantic.
So.
Or they just sprinkled it and poisoned a bunch of fish.
How did it make you feel when he passed?
Pissed off that I never got the chance to cave his head in.
That's it.
Yeah.
No feelings of that you wish you could have told him how he made you feel or what he did to you?
It would have just ended up in a ass beating for him, because it would have gotten that 9-year-old rage would have came out in a 30-some-year-old who's
Well, you would have been 40-some, but yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
well, not when he died. Oh, you mean on his deathbed?
Like
Yeah,
before.
me whooping his ass on his deathbed would have looked really bad.
Before he got, well, and that's it. Like,
It would have been a bad look.
do you think when he got really bad, he would have even understood any of it?
He didn't understand any of it. Well, first of all, there's two things. He didn't understand it in 2012.
Right.
And he didn't care any time before that.
And that's it.
So there's that saying, there's no use hating someone or worrying about people that hate. I forget what the thing is, because half of them don't know and the other half don't care. So, and that's, he didn't, if he didn't know, he didn't care,
right.
Or one or the other. So, it would have just been satisfying to just kick the shit out of him. Just being honest.
Yeah, I get that.
If he would have walked out of the trailer that night and came at me, it would have ended up with the police or an ambulance or something, because there wasn't anybody there to stop me from just beating him to death. So
you went by yourself?
Well, ex-wife was there, but what was she going to do?
Oh.
She's not going to pull me off of anybody. Just not going to happen. So,
I mean,
were there plenty of thoughts of, most of it was all just, not most of it, all of it was just, I never got the chance to tell him how much of a fucking asshole he was. I never got the chance to just give him one good shot to the grill. It wasn't like, do I wish I had a father? Yes, not that one.
I get that. I get that.
A father would have been great, not him. Even if he was around and like that, I was better off with him gone.
Right. And I think that's a huge thing that you can see that there's plenty of kids that they just crave that father figure and they don't get it. And at least you saw that you were probably better off without him being in your life.
And I've had people ask me who are dealing with the same issue of the father really not having or wanting anything to do with them. And they keep chasing it. I'm like, cut them loose. I mean, that's my only advice. Or you're just going to be driving yourself crazy. At least I did it at 14. You know, there's people that do it into their 20s and 30s, and they're driving themselves insane. It's like, it's not going to change. They don't. If they didn't do it by now, they're not going to.
Right.
And if they do, it's probably because they're dying. Or, you know, you've seen plenty of those where I got cancer, I want to make amends. If he would have done that with me, it
probably would have been worse.
He still would have got cracked in the eye. I don't care if he got cancer or not. Like, you're only doing it because you're dying.
Right.
And you're alone. Now, he wanted to be alone. I know that.
What makes you say that?
He didn't want Dave living with him. He wanted to be alone to do what he wanted. And that's how he always wanted it. He got to die the way he wanted to live, alone. That's where I get satisfaction out of it. And some people might be like, "Wow, that's fucked up," but that's where I get satisfaction out of it. It's like, you wanted to be alone, you got your wish. You got to die alone in some facility. You know, hopefully it was as painful as humanly possible and slow. Unfortunately, it wasn't slow enough, but it's the way it is.
Did he ever have any significant relationships after your mom?
No. He didn't want any. Wanted a party.
I was just wondering if you had any siblings running around.
None that I know of. Well, I mean, there's one.
Well, I mean, besides him.
Nobody's come knocking on the door. And,
can you imagine that?
Hey, brother.
I think you may have known my father. Who was your father?
Well, then that would instantly go, nope, wrong person. It's not me.
He wasn't my father.
Because over my lifetime, I've had people go, your last name is so-and-so your father?
Nope, never heard of him.
And I would go, how did you know him? You know, whatever the situation is. He owed me money. No.
Not my dad.
No, that's my cousin's. That's not.
Throwing your uncle under the bus for no reason.
That was, no, I would it would be like, I'm my cousin and he's him.
Oh.
So that was his fault. Go talk to him.
Throwing your cousin under the bus for no reason.
Like, or they'd be like, oh, he was such a great guy. And I'm like, yeah, apparently you didn't know him, or you're a lowlife. Because there's nobody that thought he was a great guy, except lowlifes.
And just for the record, before we close this one out, your brother ended up not having a relationship with him at the end at all, right?
Well, that's what had happened in 2012. That's why he was so pissed off, because he thought I was him. Because originally, from what I remember, well, actually, from what my brother had told me a little recently, is that he was going down and helping him out with food shopping, and he just told him, he was like, look, you got to back off to drinking. Like, he may not have been doing drugs at that point. It may have just been from what I was told from family members, he was drinking like, I don't know, what is it, a gallon or one of those side gallon things of vodka like a day or whatever it was. Or quarts, or I don't know, whatever they are. I don't drink, so I don't know what the sizes are. Gallon seems like a lot. And eventually just told him, like, look, I'm not. He's yelling at people and getting in fights at the supermarket. And there's not a rowdy crowd at the supermarket.
Usually not,
It's usually
no.
pretty chill. So if you're getting in fights, like near physical altercations, they're, you know, I'm sure paranoia and all kinds of brain damage had set in at that point. So who knows
Probably.
what was going on, hallucinations, whatever. And then he finally just told him, he's like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. And I think my dad was like, oh, yeah, fuck you. And that was that. And my brother never had anything to do with him after that. So it was before 2012. Exactly what year it was, I don't know. So that was that situation.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the episode for today.
This was an uplifter.
Our next episode, I think we're going to touch on some of the things that maybe as he got a little older would set off some of the rage.
Oh, we got another warm and fuzzy one coming up.
We'll talk again soon, guys. Bye.